We love you so.
And we appreciate.
Yeah, because though those lifetimes in Atlantis, man, when we blew it up.
Talking about this, I was talking about that yesterday too, about like how, all of that, exactly the same. Okay, I'm just going to share it to Soul Shine Sisterhood. And we are good to go. And okay, perfect. Hi, everyone.
Beautiful.
Hi, Charlotte.
Hi, Kara. Hi, beautiful priestesses.
Yeah. So welcome, everyone. It is such an absolute honor and with really big, excited heart that I get to talk to my sister Charlotte again in this space. And we're just, I don't know, we're just going to talk about such amazing, incredible, beautiful things today. And so everybody, this is Charlotte Szivak. Hi.
Hi, Kara. It's so great to be here. It's such an honor, and it's just, I can't seem to find the words to describe how. I was hearing magnanimous. I don't even know if that's a word, but just the whole like alignment of how all of this came together and the years, because this isn't just this lifetime. This is like thousands of years that have brought us to this point, to this moment, and how, before you and I even started this life, we probably had some karmic meeting about what would happen today. So it's really cool. All the intersections, that's the word I was looking for. The intersections, the vortexes, how it all lined up, how we all ended up here. It's so amazing.
In this moment now. Yeah, right. And really, like, I mean, so we're going to be talking all about the Rose and the Rose Lineage today, and the Magdalenes and Sophia consciousness, and this is the
sacred heaven and mysteries, and the oldest religions, the oldest we're born in the stars, and
and that is what brought you and I together, because when we met 2.5, 3 years ago, that was what our connection was through the Rose, because it was like we were both on the path of the Rose, and so we had this chance to connect, and then since then we've just been like
really aligned, really instant. It was like instant soul attraction, instant soul connection. It was amazing. I still remember.
I know.
Even to speaking, it was beautiful.
So I love that. And that's what I love about, because I feel like right now, I mean, I know that in my life, and I'm sure you can reflect the same thing, that there's so many women and men, women coming, with this remembrance of the Rose, or the remembrance of the path of the Rose. So like, I just want to hear your perspective on that. I want to hear your perspective on what the path of the Rose is and what the path of the Rose means to you.
Oh my gosh, there's so much to it. So it's not even that it is, you can't even begin with just one word. It's a journey. It is, even like thinking back to what it means, I don't even think I've been able to access the depth of the meaning of it, because I feel like we're even just scratching the surface. Because the deeper I go, the deeper I look into it, the more I embrace it, the more I open myself up to it, and allow it to speak to me. It blows my mind. It is so astounding, and there are so many layers of consciousness and energy and knowledge that is coming through, that it isn't just one thing. And it has been able to tie parts of my life that I've seen, from not just visions of this life, but even past life visions that would get recurring through the years, that made no sense to me for years. And I mean, I'm almost 50 now, and this has been coming for probably since my teen years, when I would get all these visions and I had no idea what it meant. I couldn't explain it. I would always see Isis. I would see all these Egyptian hieroglyphs and roses, but I never understood it. And over the years of healing and being on this path and working through being a healer, a psychic, I'd always get these little tidbits of information. And in this last few years is when I've been able to actually pull it all together, because the vastness of it expands through the consciousness of the galaxy. It's not something that you can just put into a finite point. It's infinite. And it is just so absolutely, utterly, I want to say maybe even full of reverence, that sometimes it amazes me, the emotions that it brings forward. And as I learn more, I keep getting visions of Alexandria, because one of the big messages that I received was that I remember feeling absolutely heartbroken when I was in my teen years, you know, taking like ancient history or something in high school. And we were doing, you know, Egyptian history, and they were talking about the scrolls of Alexandria and how they were destroyed. And I remember being so upset about it, hearing it, and not understanding why I was so upset. And just in the last few months, I received these messages through meditation where they said the scrolls of Alexandria were never lost. They're generic. And we still have this knowledge. It is lost knowledge, maybe through the third dimension, where it was written on paper or tablets or scrolls or how they had them, but it's not knowledge that has been lost. And through the years of working with crystal skulls and crystals and healing and all the different modalities, it has all led to this point in this time, because all of it is an aspect of the rose. And they used to also use the rose as a secret, you could say like a secret handshake or talisman in ancient times, to acknowledge each other as a priestess of the rose. It is also the ascent and the descent of our soul. And the ancient mystery schools would align with the planets of Sirius and Venus and work through the ascent and the descent of the planets themselves. So the planet would represent, you know, when it was going into its shadow retrograde phase of the descent, when we speak with Inanna and the goddess Inanna, when she would descend into the underworld and work through healing and releasing and going through her death phase to be reborn, to come back up again, which would be the direct phase of Venus, moving up into the next path, as Venus goes through an 18-month path before she turns retrograde. So 18, 19 months, and reconnecting and bringing Inanna back up into with Isis. So the lure, the legends, the stories, just the vastness of all of it is what we're going to be bringing forward through this beautiful connection, through this, the next steps of what the rose has to teach us. The pearl and the thorn of the rose has its lessons, and it's, wow, that wasn't a yes or no answer, was it?
It's good, because I mean, it just shows how multifaceted this path or these ancient teachings are. And I guess really what it is, like what I want to kind of be able to like share with people who have never even heard of what the rose path is before, you know, like kind of not like the Coles Notes version, but
like, give us the FedEx version.
version. Like, so for me, it's like if people ask me, it's like, well, the rose teachings are like an ancient lineage that span back like millennia and are really all about anchoring in love, unity, you know, like that consciousness of the ultimate divine feminine and the divine masculine, right? Like that, really anchoring it in.
Like a pillar.
Yeah.
Understand that. Well, the meaning is, there's a lot of meaning to it.
Right.
It awakens the depths of our soul.
Right.
And
right.
It is a lineage. It's a path.
Right. And
it's not a path you do for a day or two.
No.
It's a long journey.
It's devotional path, right? Of dedicating your life. And for me, like I think of, you know, the Essenes, the Templars, the Cathars, like, you know, all like all these tribes of people who were trying to well, they were already embodied the rose teachings, the teachings of unity and love. And then as they were out, you know, walking the earth, trying to teach this, the persecution. So what I believe happened was like everything went underground and became that secret rose handshake, right? Like, oh yeah, you're on that path, you know? So that's kind of how I see it as this ancient teaching that now is having this chance to come back and
So true.
be ignited, re-anchored into our life today. So
it's been 2,000 years since this energy, the sacred Venusian templates, the diamond light Magdalene codes were seeded, but they were seeded deep within ourselves, sealed within our ancestral lineage, the consciousness of Gaia, and the womb of this galaxy. So it has been so embedded. Oh, I'm getting chills just even.
Yeah, just the same thing.
Everything's just it's within us. It's not something that we go looking for.
Right.
And it is an inner stirring of ancient future wisdom tugging at you to pull you to this next step. But sometimes the steps, they feel like they're in a fog. So how do you find the next step? Well, this is where we go within, because it can never be, it's not always as clear. So the illumination that you seek actually lies dormant within you. So you will get activated by seeing a certain picture of a rose with Mother Mary or the Magdalene or Isis. You get this ancient stirring when you see pictures of Egypt. And what has been so amazing with social media is I love the creativity of people, and like some of the cards, the drawings that people have been able to channel through are incredible. To the rose, where you see pictures of Egypt. I mean, Danielle Noel comes to mind, who is the author, the drawer of the Starseed Oracle, and she's got, I don't know how many, I can't even think right now of how many cards that she has, but she has so many pictures where she has placed them over Egypt, and then has placed over like a Lemurian, Syrian, Star Keepers, Star Nation, Rose Priestess, pictures that just evolve out of it. And it's amazing how it awakens the deeper inner mysteries within. And it's breaking the seals of secrecy, the vows of silence that so many women and priests and priestesses took thousands of years ago to hide this from. They knew we were descending into a dark period. So they had to take these vows of secrecy to protect it. And now is the time that this is coming forward. And Karen, you and I too were talking just before we went live about how I was so nervous. I'm feeling the energy, because this is really, as we're coming out more and more publicly of the past, releasing the fears of the past, the fears of all the wounding that happened through the ages of holding this knowledge. So now to be able to bring it forward and to connect with other women and men who honor the womb, the rose, the shaman, the priestess, to step into this unified and collectively and moving forward as we all remember this wisdom and remember how to live like this again, reclaim the shimmering threads that align our holographic light body, and then weave them through to regain and to remember, because the womb and the rose is the symbol and the sign of stepping back into the feminine Christ consciousness, the Sophia, the divine feminine creator, reconnecting and igniting our trinity of feminine centers, which is the sacred temple of the self, and accessing the living, breathing transmissions from the Holy of Holies, which is the very heart of the creatrix, the Divine Mother Sophia, and is within the temple of within the self.
Yeah.
So
I love that. Well, it's just so beautiful, because to me, I think of, like you mentioned, like the dark ages, right? Or the dark times.
yes,
You know, we all know that the systems we've been living in for the past couple of thousand years haven't necessarily been nurturing or loving or beneficial for not only humanity but the planet. You know, the whole like all of us as a whole unit. And so what I love right now is that the work you're doing, and the work of the rose, and the remembrance of the divine feminine Christ consciousness, you know, all of this is coming back to nurture that wounded patriarchal system, to bring it back into that balance once again of the teachings of these ancient civilizations, you know, that at that time we must not have been quite ready for it, you know. And I feel like now, like, we're ready for it. We've gone so far in duality and polarity that it's like, now's the time, right? Now
I was thinking 2020. Just look at what's happening right now.
Yeah, exactly. We have this reflection around us all the time that this is the time now to remember these rose codes, to remember these teachings, to activate them within ourselves again.
And you're feeling it because you're being so drawn to it, and you don't even understand why. And I was out for a hike. This was probably about 15, 18 years ago. And one of my favorite waterfall hike, I live in Hamilton, so we have like 130 waterfalls, which is incredible. My favorite ones, and now that I think of it, it was really incredible how it literally looks like the path of the womb, because you have to walk in through this crevice, and then you get into the space where is the waterfall, which is absolutely beautiful. And that's when, that specific day, I will never forget, because it was when I saw the Palladians for the first time. I'd always seen them as lights around me, but that was the day when they came forward, and they were wearing these beautiful blue iridescent robes, and Mother Mary came stepping forward with them, and she handed me a pink rose. I didn't understand what it was. I just knew it was some form of an initiation and a remembering. And that was when I really started on this path, even like starting to dissemble or dissolve and start working with my shadow, and really stepping into the alchemy of healing my wounds and embracing and stepping into the next phase of my own awakening and my own journey. And they would give me these little tidbits along the way. All these things would happen. And when I was in my teens, Isis appeared to me, and she said to me that I was so obsessed with Egypt that I could speak the language, I could read the hieroglyphs, like I was getting that good with it. And she said, "You're too obsessed with Egypt. You need to be here in the now. Right. So when the time is right, I will return. And when the time for all the priestesses to reawaken, reconnect," I think I was like 16 or 17 when this happened, "then I will return and I will let you know." So like a vow. And I thought, okay, I am totally cool with that. And she showed up in, I think it was 2010, 11. Mm-hmm. Okay, now it's time. Let's get going here. And I was so excited and so happy, because I did exactly what she said. I stepped away from anything in all of Egypt. It was such an obsession. Mm-hmm. And then started reawakening with that. And by that time, it was already happening where they were stepping in and they were giving me these little bits of information, kind of like breadcrumbs to remind myself how to get back. Right. Then I stepped in and really tried to learn, absorb whatever I could, but there wasn't really that much available. So I really didn't even know what I was looking for, just that I kept seeing a rose and Egyptian alignments. And the other thing that was interesting to me too was in my early 20s, I was having issues with my womb, and they found the precancerous cells on my cervix, and I started to develop a fibroid. And I've now already had a surgery where the fibroid was removed, but it's grown back. And what I started to do, because I was already starting to do a lot of healing work in my early 20s, and I was already reading and getting into really stepping in and honoring this path, that I started to do everything I could to learn about the physical lessons about why I was having issues with my womb. And at that time, there really wasn't that much available. So everything I was learning, healing, was channeled, was connected through meditation, through healing, through visions, through working with shamans when I was going through death rites, and having these incredible experiences afterwards where the priestesses of Avalon showed up, and again, just giving me more wisdom, and I had nobody else to turn to. So all my guides became etheric, and I started to channel the work. And I started to look at, to try to understand the womb. And it wasn't until, I think it was about 2011, 12, when I found Magdalene Sophia, who wrote a few books about womb wisdom, and I mean, amazing books. And so I got everything I could get my hands on so that I could start to read on the different parts. And I started to understand that there are gates inside of the womb, and they each represent lessons, and that the gates themselves also have a shadow side, a light side, lessons, teachings, but also connect you to different vortexes and power points on the planet. So it was just an incredible journey, how, again, like everything has so intersected. And I had surgery to remove the fibroid, and it's been over 10, 11 years since I've had that, but it did start to grow back again. So I thought, geez, I have more work to do. So I just kept diving back in, and then it started seeing rose codes, rose, and I was like, oh my God, my people, they're here. I started to connect and read and learn and add to what I was already channeling, and I'm just feeling so lit up again, and just adding to, it feels, I can't say it's my life's work, because it feels like it's a passion. It's my soul's calling. It is the message of the soul to be able to reconnect with the sisterhoods, and to align and to reignite and integrate the fires of the triple flames of wisdom and truth, and the power of the great mystery temples of Isis, Lemuria, Avalon, and all the star nations, bringing all of the wisdom from those lifetimes together, which is what's happening now.
I love it.
Gaining a lot of interstellar wisdom. The ancestors have been so present. I see them so clearly now. It is such a blessing. And they tell me so many times when we're in sessions, and I've been doing a lot of mentorship work through this last year and a half, with beautiful clients, beautiful soul clients, and their ancestors are coming through, and just being so grateful to this generation, because they always say this is the generation they've been waiting for.
Right.
The generation that has been doing the work and stepping up and bringing it forward and anchoring it, the upper worlds, the middle world to the lower world, and aligning it. And they told me too that the Vesica Pisces symbol has also shifted.
Mm-hmm.
It's also expanded now. It's moving into its next incarnation of that symbol, of that sacred symbol. And as we step into bringing in all the cosmic wisdom, the interstellar wisdom, we're being overlighted by heaven as we align and sojourn with our soul, with all this wisdom, and all these aspects, and all these parts of this beauty of how we step into the wisdom also of the sun and the moon. So I'm losing my words at some points, because I feel as if I don't have the vocabulary yet to describe the depth and just how much more there is to this.
Mm-hmm.
It will come.
I love that. And that's just, again, like that just shows like the multifaceted or the multidimensional part of this teaching. And I also love, like, you know, when we step up and we are, you know, helping people, assisting them in healing, or teaching them, or, you know, supporting them in any way, like, you know, we go through our own initiations along the way so that we can keep stepping further and further and further along our path. And I think that
sacred keys, each of these people hold a sacred key to unlock and that holy essence, that holy temple from within, and access each of the rose alchemy chambers within the living grail, which we call the Magdalene womb, while igniting the cosmic library of the stargates of the grail.
Right.
You are a stargate, the stargate from within. So
no big deal.
No, it's not. It's a sacred inner pilgrimage.
It's amazing.
A sovereign quest. diving into the depths of the Trinity teachers and accessing, yeah, it's really not that much, eh? Alchemicalizing the inner king and queendom, the healing grace of the sacred union within ourselves, our partners, cosmos, and the awakening of this planet. Yeah, it's, let's,
Another day at the office.
There's so much. Yeah, just another day at the office. Yeah.
And I guess that's what, like, I'm kind of bursting. I just want to share, like, about what's happening. Because, like, as you're talking, like, yes. So really, like, the beautiful thing is that the work you've done, the teachings you've received, the healing you've done, the experiences you've had, all of these things that have come through you, to you, through, you seeking it or it coming through you, has led now to this really beautiful time where you are to share this knowledge, to share it, to help activate it within others, to support, and you're going to create a sacred container to do this.
Yes, right? It has been.
Today's like the day, right?
Yeah, today's the day I come out of hiding. I step into the temple gates have opened. Being through the threshold, I can feel it just reverberating through my body. Yeah. Step through the threshold as the temple gates open, right, to this beautiful sacred initiation to step into the new golden age of light.
Yeah.
The beloved Sophia Magdalene, sovereign rose womb queen. A beautifully, divinely designed program and a luminous transmission. And drink from the sacred chalice of light, the sacred chalice of the light container of multidimensional wisdom, to reawaken, to remember and embrace the very essence of your being. There is an ancient pathway to the power of the womb. And as a Rose Alchemy Priestess Initiate, it is literally the most sacred pilgrimage that a woman can ever take. So we will be honoring Gaia Sophia with each luminous step as we sing. You'll be really coming into that space of singing the sacred syllables of the Sophianic sonnets, the music, and bringing the majesty of the stars into existence. As above, so below. So we will be spiraling around the vortex of the Rose Alchemy Chambers and the 8 Star Grail Stargates. And we're going to be introducing you to the Rose Grail Master Guides, the records, the archangels, the elements, alchemicalizing the teachings of each of the portal beyond the veil. And through this sacred devotional journey, we're going to begin on the Royal Road, taking you to the chalice of life itself. So this will be the lost alchemical tantric traditions that hold the secret wisdom to the magical stargates within your womb, and having the power to bestow renewal and awakening of the gates of mystery, aligning your inner medicine wheel to the vortex of the cosmic web and the luminous galactic web. We are going to align with the inner medicine wheel as we also honor the changing of the seasons and the natural flow of life. So this will be connecting you to the smallest microcosm within you, to each of the shimmering threads, to the sacred sciences of each star and planet within the microcosm of the whole universe. So we're going to start with the goddess wheel of the year as we align to the holy and high holy days of the year. We're going to align you with Gaia's Earth's knowledge, the vortexes, the sacred points on the planet. So through the high holy days to the sacred points of the earth, with the velvety lunar key codes that come from Avalon and the celestial universal wisdom written within the stars that exist within your womb. which is the foundation of your inner wisdom, and your gnosis, which is your direct experience. So we're going to be changing the power of creation from beyond. And as the earth, the powers and forces of the natural ebb and flow in harmony with the rhythmical pulse of earth, the grand central sun, and the lunar cycles, as well as the celestial movements of the precision of the equinoxes, Sirius, Shambhala, the Pleiades, our solar ring, we're going to connect to the web of life. The meridians, the ley lines, the vortexes. That was the word I was looking for. But also connecting with the womb cave of the sacred sites, the dragon and the rose lines across Gaia Sophia. So for 13 months, we're going to do initiations for 13 months. So this will be a year and a month. Initiations to reclaim your divine feminine power, activate your womb medicine, and walk the ancient future spiraling path of the Rose Priestess. So this illuminating online immersion will also activate your inner goddess temple and fully activate the divine feminine holy desire, the wisdom, and the gifts. So, I have to keep the word. I feel so activated as
me too. Talking.
I can feel everything just lighting up.
Yeah.
I just so adore speaking about this and holding this space for this so that we can fully align, fully connect. Mm-hmm. We'll be aligning with the Magdalene womb, as we call the rose chambers, to the Grail gates. And we'll be aligning with the shimmering threads, connecting the shimmering threads of sacred sisterhood, woman to woman, soul to soul, divine, igniting the multidimensional pillar vortex within so that we can all experience the Magdalene rising. So we'll be working with the mystical rose, the Grail gates, each Grail gate, awakening the inner chalice of the feminine flame, and aligning as we begin the initiations from the stargates of the maiden to the mother, the crone, working with all the elements, connecting until we align with the cosmic womb. Each rose holds a flame or a light, the sacred code of divine feminine wisdom in the ancient times, so that I really feel the energy rising.
Yeah, my eyesight actually just went blurry for a minute. It's like,
it's I love it when that happens, because it's like that blip in the universe, when it upgrades and it's lines. And it will be mirroring the Venus 5-pointed star so that you can receive the wisdom of the ascent and the descent. So we'll have 8 roses, 8 rose temples with the chamber aligned with the Grail gates to activate. We'll have sacred embodiment activations, etheric temples of light, elemental activations, sacred oils, which will be coming in with and being a beautiful guest to align us as we move also into the sacred baths and rituals and alchemy of the anointing, sacred oils, the elemental sensory initiations, lunar key codes, goddess transmissions. They'll be receiving quantum healing transmissions, the Magdalene diamond crystal grids, the healing embodiment and integrations, shamanic journeyings of ritual and ceremony. We'll have embodiment awakenings through initiations, transfigurations, illumination of the power of the womb, the holy womb ritual and ceremony. We'll be also having mentorship through, so that as you unpack and integrate, we can discuss the different emotions, patterns, awakening while unlocking the wisdom of the codex. There will be a sacred online portal, a Facebook group for our sisterhood. You'll be receiving a galactic rose passport activation that prepares you, a ritual prep for each ceremony. And we'll have an opening ceremony and a closing coronation. So this will be a very vast, a very expanded, incredibly beautiful sojourn that we invite you to as you feel aligned, awakened, ready to reclaim, ready to connect, ready to reignite and bring forward your wisdom and step into your greater expanded space. I so look forward to seeing the before and after of how this will cause the rippling effect of healing, not only within yourself and through your family, your social structure, but also your community and the planet.
Right.
The cosmos, how much this is going to be affected, how much it's going to awaken this beautiful cosmic realm. It's going to be an incredible journey. We begin on the fall equinox, September 22nd, and we will go until October of 2021.
Wow.
In a beautiful, perfect way, I would love to do the coronation on a journey to Egypt next year. But with our COVID transformation, as Corona represents, it actually means coronation.
Yeah.
The inner wounds, the inner industrial age toxicity being released so that we can step into our coronation. We'll have to leave that for now and hopefully announce something later. But we begin on September 22nd, this fall equinox, stepping through the threshold into this beautiful sacred journey, sacred container, sacred realm, and reclaiming all these aspects, embracing the depths of our soul and the petal and the thorn, wisdom, and just stepping into this immense beauty. I'm so excited and so looking forward to this incredible experience.
Charlotte, I'm so excited for everybody that is going to be in this sacred space. Like, I mean, I already knew about the program, but like listening to you explain it, I feel like everything in my body just went, oh, like it just shifted. You know? And this is what I love. Like the program is as multifaceted as the path of the rose is multifaceted, you know? So to me, that's such a beautiful alchemy that you've brought together. Everything that path, that sacred ancient path represents is you've created something for us in our age now, in 2020, in this time space reality, where we get to remember, reactivate, come together, you know, and heal, like do the healing work within ourselves. And I love what you said, because as we heal ourselves and as we do that inner work and the inner reflections, then everything around us changes, you know, our relationships, like our situations, our everything that we see, our reality is reflected back to us in a different way.
Situationships.
Our situationship. And then with that, then you're like, you know, it ripples into like the planet. And, you know, let's be honest, it's time to like put some love back into this beautiful planet that we live on right now. Like it's time, you know, it's time to change the narrative. And I think that this program is like such a gift at this time.
Oh,
To do all of that.
Even like getting it down into words.
Yeah.
First, I thought it was just going to be the rose. And then my guides stepped in and they said, no, need to bring the Grail as well.
Yeah.
The intersection of how everything happened, the synchronicity was amazing. And as I was channeling this through writing it, it took me almost a year just to come to this point, to bring all the vastness of this, and was to find the vocabulary to express it. It blew my mind, because as I was writing, I was beginning to channel, and I was stepping into the wisdom of that activation. And I was like, please, not yet. Container, so the women are here, so we can bring it forward. But the wisdom that is in, they were like, okay, we get it. We understand what you're doing. But it was to be able to get the essence. It will be, was incredible. And there is so much that will awaken, and I'm so excited to see how it will translate with the gifts of all the beautiful priests, priestesses that will be joining us, and how they will experience this, their gnosis, their direct experience, and how it will activate their gifts and their wisdom. It will be incredible.
Yeah.
And such an honor. I don't even think honor is the right word, but I'm not even sure if there is a word. To have to look it up.
Like to articulate that feeling.
The reverence.
Reverence. I love that.
For the first time that I connected to Mary Magdalene, it was an experience I will never forget. It was so honoring, and I'm not a person who would bow, and never was. And even to think about it, it brings tears to my eyes, how incredible that moment was, to be in her energetic presence. And since then, I had started to do Kundalini yoga. It was about 20 years ago. And when I stepped into that experience, I can't even put into words how much it changed me, how much it activated me and stayed with me through all these years. And now to be able to bring this forward with their wisdom overlighting this, and it is, there is no words. Yeah. You can feel it. It's so incredible. And I'm just so grateful to not only be able to create this and all the beautiful connections that have come through it, but to hold this space and to bring it at this time and this planet and this eternal now moment. It is incredibly beautiful.
It's such a perfect time. And I can speak to my own journey with the rose, and knowing that like my life has changed in the best way possible. Like, and the thing is, there are no words to articulate it. It's a feeling. It's a knowing. It's that gnosis you talk about. It's that inner knowing. It's the inner connection, right? And until you actually step on, like, really allow yourself into that remembrance, you can't, it's like, it's just it's an inner knowing. And it's something that I'm going to be forever grateful for in my life, as I'm sure you are as well. And as I know every single woman that says yes to your, this beautiful offering, and this accepts this invitation to come into this sacred container, like, they just have no idea the beauty that will unfold along the way, so
it will be incredible. The gift of the presence will be incredible. Thank you so much for allowing me to come here, to be present here with you, to trust me, and to open up to me, to this beautiful community, and to bring this forward. It means so much, and I'm eternally grateful to be here and to hold this space with you. It's so beautiful.
Me too. That's an absolute reflection back to you as well. So thank you. And I mean, now it's just a matter of, whoever has like listened to this transmission and has felt it and has felt connections to the Rose or to the Magdalenes or any of the Magdalene priestesses, the Rose Priestesses, the womb shamans, you know, if you feel called, then just reach out to learn more about this amazing 13-month program, because I can promise you it will be such a beautiful gift in return for saying yes to yourself. And if any of you have ever spent time during one of Charlotte's activations that are like for 1 hour, you'll know that what's in store for you over the next 13 months is going to be absolutely pure alchemy and magic. So I'll make sure that well, you're tagged in this video anyway on Facebook, and I'm recording it. So we'll just make sure that everybody has a way to reach you. And if you need to reach me to reach Charlotte, we'll make sure that happens. And
DM us.
exactly. DM.
Divine message us.
Yeah, actually, I like that divine message. Send me a DM. Send me a divine message. I'll get it. And also, too, I wanted to say that if you have not ever experienced Charlotte's healing activations, please join us this Tuesday in Soul Shine Sisterhood in my group, because Charlotte's going to come in and weave a
little bit of magic.
And so I'll also make sure that that's available for everybody on this to come into that group, because we'll be meeting at 2:22 on Tuesday.
EDT.
Yeah.
Zone.
And yeah, Eastern Standard Time. So that'll be just beautiful. I can't wait for that. And I'm going to be up north at that time, Charlotte. So I'm going to be like in the vortex.
Right in the vortex.
Yeah.
With nature, elements. Yeah. Oh, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. So I'm excited about that. So yeah, thank you for taking this time. And like, I mean, I always love chatting with you. I could chat with you forever.
Thank you so much. It's always how you don't understand how much time goes by or how fast it goes. You're like, whoa, that just felt like 5 minutes.
I know, right?
Thank you so much. It's been so great this morning.
Thank you. And I mean, I'm excited. It's great. It already is great. So I love you, Charlotte.
Love you lots too.
And, we'll see you on Tuesday, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you.